CO by the numbers. 50, 35, 25, 9, 70, 400, 200, 7 numbers, 2 scales, and mixing them up gets people hurt. A tech drops a probe into a flue and reads 87 parts per million and shrugs. That's under the 400 limit, right? Wrong move. 87 as measured is not 87 air-free, and a flue-gas number is not a breathing air number. 7 CO numbers live in this trade on 2 different scales. Confuse them, and someone gets hurt. Every CO number belongs to one of 2 worlds. The first is breathing air. How much carbon monoxide is in the air people actually breathe, read straight off the meter in parts per million. The second is appliance flue gas, a combustion quality score for the exhaust, expressed air-free, a corrected value. Breathing air limits protect people. Flue gas limits grade the burn. Never trade one for the other. The breathing air limits, strictest to loosest. The public health standard, EPA, is 9 parts per million over 8 hours and 35 over 1 hour. Industrial hygiene, ACGIH, 25 over 8 hours. The recommended limit, NIOSH, 35 over 8 hours, with a ceiling of 200 that must never be exceeded. The legally enforceable limit, OSHA, 50 over 8 hours, and immediately dangerous to life, 1,200 parts per million. These assume healthy adults, which is why the public limit is far lower. In the field, a simpler set of action levels guides you. 9 to 35 parts per million. Keep working, but advise the occupant and investigate the source. 36 to 69, ventilate, open windows and doors, and shut down suspect appliances. 70 or more, stop, evacuate everyone. Get out of the building and call 911 from outside. So what's normal? Inside a home, 0 parts per million. A candle or a smoker might push it to a few parts per million, and that's tolerable. But anything above about 6 parts per million is unusual. Treat it as a signal, not noise, and find out where it's coming from. Now, a household CO alarm is not a low-level tool by design. Under the Residential Alarm Standard, UL 2034, it must sound at 70 parts per million within 1 to 4 hours, at 150 within 10 to 50 minutes, and at 400 within 4 to 15 minutes. And below 30 parts per million, it must not alarm at all for 30 days. It is built to catch emergencies, not chronic exposure. That gap is exactly why you clip on your own low-level monitor. A personal CO monitor alarms somewhere around 5 to 35 parts per million, long before a code alarm ever stirs. It rides in your breathing zone and warns you while the number is still small. A code alarm and your monitor are not the same instrument. Now the other scale. At the appliance, the air-free flue gas limit is about 400 parts per million for a furnace and 200 for a water heater. Air-free means the dilution air has been mathematically removed. Ranges in ovens are different. They're unvented, so the code's Annex G grades them as measured instead. About 225 at an oven or broiler, and just 25 per burner on the cooktop. The 800 air-free figure you may have heard is the oven's certification limit under AN SIZ 21.1, not an NFP of 54 threshold. Here's the trap. Excess air lowers the raw reading, so a burner can look clean as measured, yet fail air-free. Correct it. Multiply the measured CO by 20.9 over 20.9 minus the measured oxygen percent. Our 87 at 5% oxygen becomes about 114 air-free. Same gas, different honest number. 2 scales, 7 numbers. Breathing air is measured in parts per million and protects people. The field triple, 9, 36, 70. Flue gas is air-free and grades the burn. 400 for a furnace, 200 for a water heater. Correct before you compare and carry your own low-level monitor. Next episode, the instruments.